Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Tuesday, September the 29th. The year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Right versus profitable. Which one would you rather be? Or can you be both? But just so you know, these videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Most of the ongoing debates, arguments, flame wars out there in cyberspace, on the trading forums, and YouTube and Facebook. It's usually one person trying to prove they're right or trying to prove that the other person's wrong. But in trading, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about being profitable. Because I could be wrong all day so long as I'm profitable. You know, I might think that price is going up, but so long as I take my profits along the way, and price keeps reversing and going down, so long as I'm out and I'm managing my trade and I'm not losing any more on one particular trade than I'm willing to lose, I've got my risk management in place. I don't really have to be right. All I need to do is be profitable and know when to walk away with a profit. Because it's real easy to get sucked into trade sometime thinking that your idea is right or your prediction is right or your method is right. And then the next thing it's a bunch of red. So for those who want to try to engage me in ongoing debates and battles, I'm not playing that game anymore. Like I said, I'm playing my game. And, I present my methods freely, and most of the indicators, or really technically all the indicators, are free. You can choose to use what works for you and chuck the rest. I mean, I'm not forcing you to believe anything I believe. If you want to have, 10 dozen squiggly lines on your trade and a gazillion or, maybe a dozen oscillators, go ahead. If it works for you, fine. Doesn't matter what I think. All that matters to you is how you trade. you know, it's that simple. And you can see that the pound is up for the week now. We're 95 pips, 94 pips above the open, the weekly open, that is. And we still haven't filled that gap. Every last one, all the other pairs except for the pound, filled that open gap. I think it was the EURGBP hadn't filled it yesterday. So if you played that, it looks like there was money to be made there. Yesterday's opening range was huge. I think it's 179 pips. So you can see here, chances are we're going to form an inside bar today. 395 pips off of the yearly open. And we're inside that weekly inside bar right here. And just so you know, that monthly inside bar is here. And we've got today and tomorrow, and then we'll have a new month. So we'll get to start the process over. For today's range is only 80 pips, about what? Less than half of yesterday's. So price is compressing, only probably to expand sometime later this week. The pivot point was inside the buy zone, so no real bias. Price took it out in the first hour. But you can see we have that pivot point missed from yesterday, down here at 27.46. And the rats feasted. In fact, when I was looking at the chart, all of a sudden I saw this thing spike up here, and I stuck a trade on short, and I think I picked up a couple of pips or maybe one pip because it ran against me, and then it came back, and I just jumped out, and then it ran back up a bit, and then it came tearing back down. But something that I think I may have mentioned to you yesterday about an observation I had, how the pound likes to seems to really launch off of this um, 40 line. And you can see here as I put it on the chart how many times it went below it and then came right up through it and ran up anywhere from 20 to 40 pips. And that's just an observation that I made. And so, am I right? Does it do that? If I could run frequency distributions, but the thing is, does it matter? If I take that trade, I either make profit or I get stopped out. So it doesn't really matter. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But, the way I see it is, it seems to be working more often than not. So I'm going to keep milking that cow until it stops working. Weekly pivot here, 27.95. Don't know if we're going to hit that or not. In fact, I earlier in the day, every time price jumped below 50, I could get into 40. I was just buying, and then it smiled upon me, crossed above 50. I could take a pip or two or so, and that was just an experiment I was doing, and I was looking at some higher highs and higher lows also, just to let you know. We took out the pivot, the weekly. You can see we've already taken that out here and here. We've got those two missed pivots. Wick zone. We've been pretty much in the wick zone all day because it's such a huge wick zone. I mean, that's 101 pip wick. It's going to take some doing to get out, but it actually did pop out here at the open and then popped out here last hour. Not by much. I think you had opportunity to take 5 or 6 pips. Looking at one of my trading scalping screens, I had mentioned about the range of the M15 candles, and you can see we had 3 hours ago we had a 13 and or sorry 3 bars ago, but you can see now past few bars it's kind of mild out, settled down. And in fact, the last hour, 6 pip range. Could that be? Oh no, that's the current range, not the last hour. That's the current hour, 0. I was getting ready to say I can't believe it was that low. But you can see we've had some really nice ranges here on the pound. So once again, just trading the horizontal lines, it paid off. In fact, there was somebody out there said they were doing it on demo. Come on, get some skin in the game. Trade a dime a pip. I'm sure you can do that. A dime a pip. Put your stop loss in there. I mean, what are you going to risk at most? $1 a trade? You can do that. And then you get your feet wet. You start building your trading muscles. Then you can move up to quarter a pip, 50 cents a pip, $1 a pip. And then the next thing you know, you're a trader. But if you're in paper trade mode or demo trade mode, you're not trading because you're not fully engaged. Till you've got some skin in the game, money on the line, you're not really trading. It's totally different when it's your money on the line. And then you're going to hit that one point. I always call it the handshake point. When your hand starts shaking, do you have the guts to, pull the trigger on a $10 a pip trade or a $20 a pip trade or a $100 a pip trade or a $500 a pip trade? Will your hand shake? Will you hesitate? Will you sweat? Will your heart start pounding in your chest? That's what you have to find out. That's when you find out what you're made of. and it's different for each person. So I guess to say that's kind of like talk is cheap. Let's get some skin in the game, put some money on the line, and then you'll really test it, because you're not just testing the method or the system, you're testing yourself. Because in demo or on paper, you can go this, and this, but when you're really trading for real and you get things like slippage, or you hesitate just for a split second and price moves on you a half a pip or something, you're not going to experience that in demo. You're really not. So come on and play with the big kids. Put your big boy pants on, or I guess, or big girl pants, or big non-binary pants on, and do some trading here. And you notice the H1 DSR scalper is triggering an entry right here. So if price comes up here, it's telling us to go long. So we had a 2-ball here at the bottom. We opened above the previous candle's midpoint and just looking for that break. But normally we're trading down somewhere around M5 or M1. And so you see here on this particular trigger, you maybe took a little heat, but it paid off in the end. And I don't think there was any other questions out there. Oh, but there is something I need to tell some of you traders. I give you my contact information, and I'm happy to spend time with you. But if you want me to do something, that's my choice. And if I decline to do it, it's nothing personal. Don't take it personally. It's just some things I don't do, some things I don't feel is necessary. For example, there was a trader that wants to change the font size here. I think they wanted it smaller. Well, as you can see, it's about the same size as this, and so I'm leaving it like that. But you've got the source code. If you want to get in there and change it, or have somebody else change it, go for it. I'm not doing it. And then was another trader that wanted me to do some code using moving averages. Once again, I don't do squiggly lines. I am not going to spend my time doing squiggly lines. There may be an exception every now and then, because there might be something I'm curious about, but because of all the different things people want me to do, and not just in the trading world, but I've got a life outside of trading. There's just 24 hours in a day. I get to choose how I spend my 24 hours. So like I said, don't take it personally if I turn down your request or your offer. Because if I don't say no to you, I'm saying no to everything else. So it's like when you go to the restaurant. If you order chicken off the menu, you're saying no to ham and the steak and the fish, because you're choosing chicken, unless you just order the whole menu. I wonder what that would be like to order the whole menu. I know when I used to, a few lifetimes ago, back in the corporate world, when I was working in DC, a little side story here, we used the Chinese embassy opened a restaurant, and we used to go there, and literally the president of the company would pretty much order the entire menu, and we got to try just about everything, and it was some really good food. Anyway, fellow traders, just remember, don't worry about being right. Focus on being profitable, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. And if you're new here, welcome aboard. Please subscribe, click like, and share the video on all those trading forums out there on the internet. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.